It doesn't really hit home with you until you have someone up here, you know. That's when it hits home.
Substandard conditions at a Cleveland cemetery are affecting thousands of local families. Now Bradley County and the state of Tennessee are taking notice.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6 in HD.
Thanks for watching the news at 6. I'm David Carroll.
And I'm Greg Glover in for Cindy Sexton. Channel 3 has uncovered numerous complaints against Sunset Memorial Gardens in Cleveland. They allege unmarked graves, unbearable odors as well that resurface every summer.
And families in Bradley County have limited options when it comes to local cemeteries. Tonight, investigative producer Beth Burger and reporter Dan Kennedy meet up with some families fed up with the conditions in which their loved ones are resting.
And then when they come up here, the funeral experience is bad, you know, because this is their last thing they remember.
Families use Sunset Memorial Gardens to say goodbye with the promise of always being able to come back to say hello.
A cemetery really does handle a family forever.
Ralph Buckner knows about death. He's a Cleveland funeral home director, but inside this mausoleum, it's personal.
I personally paid for these.
This is where he visits his parents and his daughter Shipley, who died 5 years ago, only 18 years old.
And you can see the water or whatever. It's pitiful.
Buckner can't stand the smell during the summer. A state auditor last month said on a scale of 1 to 10, the odor was an 8.5, saying the smell of decomposing human remains has been here for at least 3 years. Sunset Memorial Gardens responded in August, saying it was working to control the odor with AC units, these types of air fresheners you might use in your home or car.
That's not proper ventilation for a mausoleum whatsoever.
During our visit, we found gnats and spiders, water puddles, even the new flooring is bubbling up. Channel 3 reviewed hundreds of pages in inspection records and complaints filed over the last 5 years. One citation from 2012 notes body fluids on the floor. More recently this summer, the state found a leaking roof, stains, cracks, and mold, and a crypt plate that fell and broke on the floor. But the problems are not just in the mausoleum.
Graves sunk in, piles of dirt everywhere, stones that have been chipped.
Outside, Melanie Marshall buried her 2 boys, Jeremy and Jess.
This is about the folks that we love, and they've got names and they've got faces.
Lots of times the family of people who are buried in a cemetery just sort of suffer in silence.
Like many in Bradley County, District Attorney Steve Crump has parents buried at Sunset Memorial Gardens. He's taking legal action in hopes of getting people like Ralph Buckner a quick, but this time permanent, fix.
Yeah, we've got to do something. You know, not just for my aspect, for my family, but for the citizens of Cleveland and Bradley County.
The cemetery owners first told the district attorney back in January in a written agreement they would better maintain the cemetery. The DA says they failed to do that. Now the county is taking the cemetery owners to Chancery Court. No date has been set, but we'll continue following this story. In the studio, I'm Dan Kennedy for 3 Investigates.
The state of Tennessee has fined Sunset Memorial Gardens more than $50,000 since 2010. We contacted the owners requesting a comment, but they chose not to respond.
A Cleveland father is calling on others to reprimand a local cemetery for lack of upkeep and maintenance. Ralph Buckner, who has a daughter buried in a mausoleum at Sunset Memorial Gardens, took out this full-page ad in Sunday's paper, encouraging others to file a written complaint to the state of Tennessee in hopes of cleaning up that property. We recently uncovered a state auditor said the smell of decomposing human remains has been here for at least 3 years. One citation from 2012 notes body fluids on the floor. This summer, the state found a leaking roof, stains, cracks, and mold, and a crypt plate that fell and broke on the floor. 6 people have already complained in writing. Buckner says complaints must be on the state's official complaint form to be recognized.
That's why I thought, well, you know, what better way to do it than put it in the paper and telling people, you know, we're trying to get this place straightened out and we need all the help in numbers that we can get.
Sunset Memorial Gardens responded in August saying it was working to control the odor with AC units and those types of air fresheners right there you might find in your home or car. Buckner says cemetery officials are doing more, but he calls it, quote, Band-Aid stuff. More than 50 people have now come forward and filed formal complaints about conditions at Sunset Memorial Gardens in Cleveland. The move comes after funeral director Ralph Buckner took out a full-page ad in the local paper asking for families of loved ones buried or entombed at the Cleveland site to formally file the complaints. State documents show the smell of decomposing human remains has been there for at least 3 years. Buckner says complaints must be on the state's official complaint form to be recognized.